liability for statements made on the air.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. It's the start of another day, guys. It is Hump Day, Wednesday 9th. And looking forward to having a great show with you this morning. You're here with me, your fave, Azem. Usually I'm joined by Jade, Gwenny Adita, CPL Martha Stowe Johnson. However, she is still stranded. She's still stranded. We're going to blame it on very little options for interregional travel. So, she should be back soon. Keeping our fingers crossed that she gets home safe. But I'm sure she's enjoying her little sabbatical, if you could call it that. But before I make a boo-boo, put my cover on my water. I don't want to spill it everywhere. But guys, yeah, I'm happy that you came and decided to hang out with me this morning. As we just have some conversation about what's happening, what's going on. I'm interested to hear from you guys. Feel free to call in, be a part of the show. Let me know your views on what we're discussing. We got some interesting topics this morning. One of them I have not heard, so I don't even know. I have no idea. Jade sent me a message and said check the email. So we'll probably get to that in just a little bit. But yeah, the place has begun to clear up. Yesterday afternoon was hot. It was humid. The heat came back with a vengeance. I was literally just laying down with a standing fan blowing directly at me like for about 2 hours, and that finally managed to cool me down just a bit. But yeah, we give thanks for the rain. I didn't hear of any serious issues. I think I heard of maybe one person having some water issues. Of course, y'all know when we get the heavy rains, the leaks in your house gonna show themselves. They're gonna reveal themselves. Hey, what's going on? Just a little leak here. Hope everybody doing fine. But we could deal with the little leaks, right? As opposed to not having a roof. So, thankfully, it seems for the most part that things will do. I did see some damage in Nevis, though. That there is an area where the road seemed to have become undermined. Hopefully, they already begun work on that. I'm sure it looked, just based on the markings, it looked kind of like a main road. So I'm hoping that is already being addressed. And it ain't like no slow curing anything that can take 28 days to to set. But yeah, for the most part, you guys remain safe. And yeah, thanks for that for sure. Yesterday I was coming here. I think I mentioned it. Of course, I got a flat on the same time period, day into morning. Night into morning, where it just rains consistently for about 8 hours. And I just had to laugh. It's just like, yeah, today of all days is when you can choose to just ear down. May run over nothing. Just decide, yeah, man, we're going to go down today. And I remember thinking to myself, it has been quite a while where we've gotten this type of rain, to my knowledge. Well, let's say in town, because I want to believe outside of town, rain falls pretty consistently. I do know sometimes it's the same little 2-minute showers on and off. When we were small, we used to call them passing cloud. But I remember when I was young, we'll get these days when it would just rain for hours. The rain would start at 10 a.m. and don't stop until 10 in the night. And I always wonder why we're not getting much of that anymore. But yeah, yesterday and previous night, kind of reminded me of that. And we discussed yesterday the fact that we've been doing so much work on the roadways to allow people to be able to move around, even at times when the rain is falling. Most of the guts are bridged and covered. Even though some of them might just be like, by one big stone come this year, clog up here, but I mean, they've made it so that we're able to pretty much go right around the island, even as there is, if the guts are running. So I'm really thankful for that development, even though I did appreciate when I was younger the days when I would get to skip school the next day because we didn't get home until 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, when we were able to pass a gut running in Christchurch. That got in Christchurch under the bridge, that one has given me a few stay home days. coming home on a Sunday night from the country, and you stay there for a few hours until you just decide, by this ain't making no sense. You go sleep in the back. You finally get home, the sun kind of coming up. Parents got to go work. They tell you, bye. It ain't make no sense. It ain't make no sense in your school because you ain't gonna learn nothing. So I've been there when people try to go to the gut and you see the vehicle start to just slide. Oh, man, disappear. I heard stories of people there waiting, big truck, lorries waiting down Washgut. Man come through and he donkey decide he going through. Well, just take and donkey over the cliff. But those things are in the past now, and we're moving forward. We don't have to deal with such things anymore. The young generation ain't got them stories. How is it you guys see big truck waiting, everybody waiting, but you can decide you and your donkey got what it takes to make it? By the hubris of some people. But we have to, I guess we have to appreciate the what's happening here? Hit the wrong thing. There we go. Yeah. But yeah, so you have to appreciate let's say the gumption of those of those people. I've heard about stories of people having to go down and look in the gut because some child get washed down in the gut. That was way over Tabernacle. Where the big guts are on the west side of the island. Somebody tell me. Godwin gut. The ones that would stop traffic and prevent people from getting home. Godwin gut for sure. Are there any others? What's the gut when you're just about to get into Newton Ground? Between Sandy Point and Newton Ground. Oh well. What just happened? Is it a matter that did I lose internet? Anyway, but yeah, guys, it's time for us to jump into some conversation here. Like I said before, Jade actually sent me something. She told me that I need to play it, so I'm going to do as she says. So nobody blame me. Oh wow, where is it now? Let's see here. The article just reads. Okay, so I think this is a clip of former Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris, and so again, she didn't send this to me personally, so I didn't even know what was happening. But here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and play this for you guys. Let's see here. All right. Let's see what goodie she has for us.
My fellow citizens and residents, my attention has been drawn to a statement made on a local radio station, Freedom FM, on Wednesday, the 2nd November 2022, by Prime Minister Dr. Terence Dew, to the effect that our country was in the red, or as some reported, that there was no money. This statement is frightening and calls for an immediate explanation from the Minister of Finance and the Prime Minister. I receive many calls from citizens here and abroad about this statement, and it was obvious that the statement had the effect, whether intentional or not, of bringing me and my tenure as a former Minister of Finance of our beloved country into disrepute. I must therefore set the record straight. In a prior media engagement, Prime Minister Dew had indicated that his government had met the economy in very good standing with all the resources required to meet his promises. Wednesday's statement that the country is broke raised eyebrows as to the honesty and competence of the honourable member for St. Christopher 8. For the record.
Oh, so that's what's going on. Well, I must be honest. I think that statement did and not the statement by the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, but the statement by the Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew. I do believe that that statement did kind of cause a lot of conversation, at least in some circles that I have been in. It's come up. Persons have asked me what I think about it. I think it just warrants some explanation. I think it does warrant some explanation. And it's getting very weird to me. Like, and this isn't even a Sinkits thing that I'm gonna discuss now. So it's not this present government or past government, as opposed to those that came before it, or administrations, those that came before it. But the way that information is disseminated and the mediums used to disseminate certain critical statements and bits of information, like getting crazy. I mean, we would hear literally world leaders going to Twitter to make official policy statements. Right? And that's not to say that Twitter is used to share a statement that was put out or clips from a press conference or anything like that. No, the official place to disseminate this information is a social media platform. And I don't think we've been immune to that development here. Like, I've been seeing similar things there. It's almost like if you want to figure out what's happening in some of these ministries, you have to go to the president or the prime minister or the minister responsible, go to their personal Facebook page or their Twitter page to try and find out what's the newest development. If these statements are made, I would think, in an official way, then it kind of informs the way that the information is presented as well, which may help to bring some clarity and may help to quell some of the questions before they even come up. Because even after it was said, we came in here, and that was my position. I was like, but I think the actual term used in the interview that Dr. Harris referenced, I think the term used was tremendously well. But somebody's saying that was not his full statement. But the statement was made that they inherited a deficit. So, I mean, that's. I mean, he did go on to explain what deficit means. I give you that, but it does seem as though it did raise a lot of questions, especially for people who would have been following some of the previous statements. I would have felt that there seems to be some discrepancy between the positions. So, yeah. I mean, part of the thing for me too is just that we understand, right? We understand that our representatives, based on our system, our representatives cannot be expected to be experts in everything. As a matter of fact, on a whole other tangent, I have been very concerned recently just about the seemingly death of expertise, or let me say devaluing of expertise. But that's a whole other rant to go off sometime. But it seems as though people and so we don't expect like the people that we vote for to be experts in every single thing, right? And so when you have those discussions, you say, well, okay, that is why within certain departments and certain ministries you have persons who are well versed in these areas, who handle a lot of the heavy lifting in this. So I would love to see situations where we make popular platforms where these people are also allowed to present information based on this and whatever it is that they're stored in. Permanent secretaries, financial secretaries, etc., etc., etc. I think we need to popularize allowing these people as well to present. That's not to say that the ministers somehow don't have an important role and still don't. And of course, you are the one who is in charge, and so you must familiarize yourself with what's going on and be able to present. But I'd love to see a situation where we popularize some of these positions where it's expected that you are the one who has the expertise and a broader view of what is happening, and be able to hear from them as well. Maybe that might help some of the situation as well. We have some persons trying to get in on the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Hello?
Hey, morning.
Good morning. I just called in to ask for the pricing for the advert.
Like so that depends. You want me? Let me give you a number that you can call, and then
Okay,
and you could get that information. What you do? You call 764-6757.
764-6757.
Yeah, man.
And they'll talk to me about it?
Yeah, that's the person you talked to about ads.
All right, thank you.
All right, man. Appreciate it. All right. But yeah, guys. I mean, it does seem like the statements made did raise a lot of conversation, like I'm saying, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Is this something that is just gonna big word pass over, continue moving? Is it something that we expect to hear more about? Is it because there's no way that the the government is not aware of the conversations that surround the statements? So is it that we're going to see some addressing of that, some attempt to clarify, to put at ease, to outline a plan as to, okay, this is the situation, this is what we intend to do, these are the steps we plan to put in place to achieve them? Is that what we expect? I don't know. But I do believe they'll have to address it at some point, right? I saw some persons trying to call in. If you had some conversation you wanted to, or some points you wanted to add to the discussion, please feel free to call in and let me know what you're thinking. But I'm really interested to hear what you guys think about my suggestion to popularize presentations from persons within the ministries about their particular thing. One of it, and this is something that is not new. I would want to commend, for instance, the Ministry of Tourism and the Tourism Authority. I believe that we've seen them be very open in terms of presentation, and there's usually press conference. There's pretty regular press conferences where it may be the permanent secretary that presents, may be the minister, it may be the CEO, it may be some of the other persons involved in the, particularly in the authority, that may speak on whatever the present situation is with the ministry. You think that's something that could be adopted by other ministries? Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
I think that's what the program are working for you, and that's what it does. There were permanent secretaries and them and that program, and other people from different departments, apart from the minister, were on that program. Isn't that what that's for? That was?
Perhaps, but I'm speaking specifically to presentations organized by the government or by the ministry themselves.
Yeah.
So that's why I use the example. That's why I use the example of like the tourism press conferences.
Oh, okay. But with the situation with the statement by the Prime Minister, it raised some eyebrows, because the thing is it. If you say we are in the red, I know that they went nowhere and borrowing no money. And I mean, civil servant being paid on time. Everything seems to be working as far as I can, so going on, the business going on. So to say that we're in a red, it actually raised eyebrows. I think the Prime Minister, fresh, he got a good opportunity to change the way people look at politicians. But I don't think if he come and fall in that line that people are going to not trust him, I don't think he'll work out good for him. Because to say we in the red, I yet to understand that. I can't bring it. You just tell me you're in the red, but yet you send out to buy 2 generators for $70-something million, but you're in the red. You send out to buy an MRI machine, but you're in the red. So these are things you got to question. And is it just politics? Because I think it's time politics, we just had an election just gone. Move away from politics and start to govern. Because from the time you take that oath, you take the oath to serve everybody. It's not all about your people who vote for you. As a matter of fact, you don't just know who vote for you. And when you say things like that, you don't know who you're going to offend. Because there are some people who are on the margin. They call them independent voter. You say something like that, you might just turn them off. If the budget coming up, so then I guess they don't have time to present all the figures to people and what's not. So we might get a better understanding of what he's trying to say. But to make a blank out thing, you're going to talk about solid waste. You know, solid waste were getting their money from the cruise ships. They had a pandemic, the cruise ship wasn't coming. What you expect to happen to solid waste? You're talking about skeleton when people wasn't working and people were asked to defer payment. No money going in. What do you expect to happen? So it's time to get away from the politics and start governing. Thank you.
All right, Carlo. All right. Well, I think one of the points that you're making that was something that I found very interesting is generally, and I'm not an economist, and I don't claim to be a very smart person, right? But generally, when I hear people speak about deficits or make statements regarding deficits, it's generally during a specific time period. So you'd say for the first quarter of such and such and such, or over the last whatever. Because then you don't expect, especially institution like a government, to, let's say, every day bring in more money than they expend, or every month or every year. You just expect that there'd be ups and downs. Especially, and like the caller would have spoken to some of the things that may contribute to why earnings may be lower than general or whatever. So I would have liked to have some context. Because it was the last month that was the deficit, the last year. When you say you inherit a deficit, I mean, the statement was a bit confusing for me, even from that standpoint. So I suspect there'll have to be some more clarification because obviously money is a big topic. But we have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. What's up?
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
It's been a while.
Yeah, man. I was wondering about you the other day,
I hear, man. I hear. Sometimes the conversation, I don't want to get involved.
I got you.
Now, this statement that the Prime Minister made, I listened to it, right? But some things that he said, people is overlooking. Now, he mentioned development bank. The government had to stabilize it. The development bank is part of the government. When I say part of the government, like the institution, like statutory bodies, in that kind of trauma talking. You can understand what we're doing?
Yeah.
So, before the election, a lady claimed Port Authority, which is a statutory body, is in financial problem. Skelec, statutory, financial problem. UDC, statutory body, financial problem. But she didn't mention solid waste and NHC, which is also statutory bodies. I heard a then parliamentarian in a town hall meeting in Canary claim solid waste is 5 mil in the red, but they're still collecting all your garbage. Now, listening to statements before, nobody is remembering those statements. So if this guy say he met the country in good financial footing, standing, but then after have to stabilize this and stabilize that and stabilize this and stabilize that, he realized now he going in the red. I mean, people have to listen.
So your interpretation of when he said they inherit the deficit. That's what he mean is after.
Right, after stabilizing these statutory bodies, he gonna run in problem.
So what you say, if that is the case, then I think what you're suggesting is that there perhaps needs to be some clarification for those of us that would have missed it.
Come back and further explain.
Okay, I got you.
The country
I
where
got
the money
you.
gone. Because if before the election, I heard a lady say, Port, UDC, Skelec, in the red. The guy on Monday and Thursday, he said the same thing. These companies in the red because of who managing them. But NHC and solid waste because of who managing them. They did mention that. But the man himself came to the public and said, solid waste in the red. So with all these statutory bodies in the red, and the government now have to stabilize them, that's where the money will put the government coppers now in the red because the statutory bodies run themselves in financial problem. So now you have to bail them out, which will put you. It's like you have a son, but you're in good financial footing. But your son run himself in problem. He could put you in problem too because you're going to bail him out.
I'm not quite sure that's exactly how it works for government.
No.
I understand your logic.
Listen, right? You give your son his lunch money, but he take it and you give him lunch money for the week. He take it and do else thing, which is not what he's supposed to do. But then he's supposed to give you money for your lunch for the week. But you got your budget, so he come back and mess with your budget because you don't give him his budget and he blow his budget, so he come back and mess with your one. But like I say, we hear what we want to hear, we interpret what we want to hear, but people who understand finance and understand inheritance would understand what it is to inherit, then has to pay out from what you inherit, and at the end of the day is what you end up with.
Okay, I got you.
You understand?
I got you.
Yeah, because I know, and listening to you, I know you will understand if they explain.
But I think that's the point I'm making.
Yeah,
the point I'm making is
that
that
the way he dropped it, he didn't explain it. He mentioned the bank and the government had to stabilize it. So that's money gone out of the consolidated fund. He didn't say how much he stabilized the bank. Why? That's another problem. But
well, again, I feel like
hear what going on.
okay.
Let me listen for budget there.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, let me listen for budget there because those debates gonna come up in budget there.
All right.
That's what the debate gonna be. And budget there we have to listen and then we'll understand. Okay, I'll continue listening.
All right, bro. Appreciate it. But yeah, guys, I mean, I think it's gonna come down to a recognition that hey, there's questions people want clarity, and depending on who you talk to, you get different interpretations, and that's always gonna be the case, That's always gonna be the case, no matter what you say. But I think that when you recognize that, hey, this thing is probably something I could have presented in another way, then yeah, probably have a responsibility to go and do that, just to ease some of the questions that people are having. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up? Lost that caller. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. Talk to me. Hello? Oh, I think I lost that caller. Well, we're going to have to wait and see exactly what goes down. Oh, before we move on, let's take this one last call on this topic. Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. What's up?
Hello, good morning, Devon. How are you?
Morning, Azam. Good morning.
Awesome, yo, Lord, I'm calling Devon. Yeah, oh, Miguel. She's from my show yet to sing it. She and she back floating coming up.
She might got to do that.
Yeah. Yes, as the gentleman just said, he should have waited and overlooked so much money they don't spend. You got to look when you're going to a place, you're taking up a place, you got to look good before you say some things, because now he's making it blowing up in his face. He should have never gone make that statement so quick. Overlook things and then come with the right answer. Because when you look at it, with these going back and forth traveling, people don't say, oh, that gone in, make it add up to it too. You may not look so to it, but it's so because people are look at the outside. Why this load of traveling every minute with a complimentary, when some people, they're carrying people who should not go. And so, don't let them come tell us how we buy in red and then they don't have money, They just say you set aside, people are check. Sometimes they check 3 money, they put one here, one there, one there, and so well could do how we could add up. So what he should have did, do all the things for deposit where we say and do this and that, and then come out and say something in the budget talk. Because he saved the treasury when they say inside God. He say when he make the treasury. But you make the treasury good, say the treasury is all right, but other place I'll have to overlook. Not come up from talk about in red, that means nothing there, Next year I'll let know so they can't pay the workers and so. So I beg them, please, also they're young, and they just use word out of half a hand. You can't use word half a hand. You got to feel out the word, what the public will think. If I come in with this, you see, solid ways, we hear how much in problem with, and the NH, you hear how much million. Because when Mr. Timothy went in, that's what they start to say, how we shady be. They start to give the figures for the NHC. And other places, they never come out about the country when you read. If he's telling you this, which area what ain't look good and what looks strong. Now, this thing, me can't understand, Bevon. Hold on, ask him.
You're good, man, you're good.
The EN support, they're bringing him money. Where the money are gone? They're supposed to talk about the all its bill and so they don't have that for me
Not lady, I think sometimes, right? we might look and see how much money places bringing in, but we don't see how much it takes for them to do the job that they're doing. So you could see, you could say, by these people collecting hundreds of thousands of dollars every month, millions of dollars every month, but it might take millions more to provide the service that they're providing. So,
but what happened to that, you know how that the job, like when I was doing my peanuts, I am not going to take 6 bags of nuts when I only could do 3, sell 3 for the week.
The point I'm making is sometimes, right? That's why government have to perform some of these things. That's why private people like me and you ain't gonna go and do it because no money in it. But it has to get done, so government has to perform some of these things. So I think in a lot of cases it's understood that what we have to do is minimize wastage, improve efficiency, because it's gonna be difficult for these businesses or these operations, these institutions to turn a profit just based on the nature of what they're doing. So I don't think it's so easy that we could just watch and say, oh, they're collecting all this money, all these people owe them and thing. It's a little more complicated than that, I think.
Look at this again. When we pay the electricity, we paying some money for solid waste, so where that money don't go.
So you're paying money for solid waste?
Yeah, they say they used to say now when you're going on the plane, you used to leave some kind of money in the where they name again, the departure.
The departure tax.
For that too. I don't know if it changed after a while. I used to hear that a couple of years ago. So I don't know what happened. I beg the government try to bring in some businesses that say they're gone out there past for the 3 months. Because what happened, I think too much a load and the government payroll. They need to shake off some. If you also got 5,000, they drop down to 4 or 3. It's too much.
Well,
and that is where going in and everybody want this and everybody want here. They must say, oh, we want the, I hope they pay double salary, yes. But I hope they see the money to pay it and not borrow nobody money. Because what they must say, they borrow some money from me when Israel come here to pay some kind of money there. You know? Some salary or the other.
We'll have to wait and see. The wage bill has always been a discussion, and I think most people think it's overinflated. So we'll have to wait and see what the plan is.
Let me ask you something. When them people on the board, they board. Them is the job to say, well, they're going to come in, you know, win FM. You look like we can't afford to pay him every week, you know. Tell him come 2 days a week. That's our job, you know.
Yeah,
we look like we only go in there, whoever got them job to say, oh, me only go for the pay. I don't want mountain come see.
Well,
you know, that's the part of the job to look you.
Well,
because you have a board meeting, you got to hear around the board meeting, really. They make $1 million this month, next month they're making thousands.
Well, hopefully what happens is that, what I could say is hopefully maybe you get put on a board and you could handle some of these things, show them how we're supposed to go. All right, but thanks a lot for calling.
Yeah, well, good morning, everyone. And tell them not sell the cable to no digital company because they ain't sure. The internet to the drop fast. No way. Where is the...
Call the company, tell them what's going on.
You have to quick to sell. And when you look, you can't get good service. No.
This lady, you give me too much topic, I can't keep up. So yeah, we are yeah, guys. Yeah, I think the idea of like I said, I think for some of these institutions, and we discussed this, I think, earlier this week or perhaps even Friday. It's gonna be difficult based on the nature of the business for some of these institutions to turn profit. Like if they were to collect every single penny that they could possibly collect in any projection that you could come up with, even the most hopeful projections, in some of these cases there is no way they're gonna even cover the cost to provide the service. And like I said, that is why government handles some of these things, because the truth is the profitability just doesn't encourage private investment. So, you know, people need the things, whether it's water, whether it's electricity, whether it is port services and stuff like that. Like, who knows? And again, so I think we're gonna have to really focus on minimizing wastage, improving efficiency, right, and implementing technology to help and just minimize that deficit. But actually, the last 3 months, the hot word was honorarium. When you come like the hot word this month is deficit. Everywhere I go hearing the word deficit. But yeah, we have some other stuff to get to. So let's read this other article that came out on winmediask.com. It speaks to our lovely social media celebrity, none other than Hushpuppy, says he's been sentenced to 11 years in U.S. federal prison. Local investigation into citizenship by marriage scheme continues. Interesting. Ramon Hushpuppy Abbas has been sentenced to 135 months imprisonment in a federal prison in the United States of America for his role in an international fraud ring. A statement from the Department of Justice in the U.S. Attorney's Office stated that $50,000 of proceeds from the scheme, in which Hushpuppy duped the victim business person into paying approximately $330,000, were used to fraudulently acquire St. Christopher, St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship and a passport for Abbas through a sham marriage to a St. Kitts citizen. Well. On Tuesday, November 8th, 2022, the Attorney General's office in St. Kitts and Nevis provided an update on the investigation that has been ongoing for several months. The Attorney General's office said in July 2021, law enforcement authorities in the United States contacted the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force to provide information about Hushpuppy's alleged criminal activity in St. Kitts. The police force launched a formal investigation. In September 2021, the police prepared a draft request for assistance from the United States in the investigation of Hushpuppy pursuant to the Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty. This treaty request sought to obtain formal evidence from the United States to assist the local police force in the investigation, which has implicated persons residing in the U.S. and persons residing in St. Kitts. The then Director of Public Prosecution swiftly provided his input, and the treaty request was then forwarded to the Attorney General's office, which is the competent state entity responsible for sending the treaty request to foreign states. Well. There's all sorts of developments in this case. I'm trying to see if there has been any movement on the actual investigation. They do mention that the former Prime Minister, Minister of National Security, the Honorable Dr. Honorable Timothy Harris, said Hushpuppy married Shawana Nakisha Chapman, a 32-year-old Kittitian-born citizen of the United States of America. Ms. Chapman, a resident of North Carolina, USA, married Mr. Abbas in Nigeria in October 2018, thereby conferring him with the right to St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship. The United States Department of Justice in a statement said that Hushpuppy and other conspirators defrauded a Qatari businessman by claiming to be consultants and bankers who could facilitate a loan to finance the construction of a school for $1.1 million US. And the department is saying that he used some of that money to acquire the citizenship in St. Kitts and Nevis. Like, these are the things. I think these kind of things can be very, very difficult to to prove? And then, is it that we are investigating this to aid this particular case in the US because he's been convicted now, or is it that we are trying to somehow put things in place or prevent similar situations from occurring? That gives a very slippery slope, because at that point you start policing marriage, and I think that becomes very ticklish. Becomes very ticklish, because then you start having to examine the institution of marriage, the purpose of marriage, and what is the then government stance on marriage as a whole. Because if you're trying to police it, you must first understand why people get married, who's allowed to get married, what do we believe the purpose of marriage is. What I don't know, guys. Even the idea, and somebody says the US, well, because they know they cannot prove that. And for me, it seems as though if you're gonna get a call to say that this person got married here, got a passport, and the suspect whatever, I don't think it's about the person getting married for some nefarious reasons. I think it's using ill-gotten funds to what they're, I guess, suggesting is purchasing citizenship. But why? I don't know. I don't know. Somebody's pointing out that, just for reference, here in St. Kitts you need to stay married for at least 3 years to get citizenship. Somebody is suggesting that we do what Canada does and says that marriage does not equal citizenship. No, okay, somebody is also asking, but if he is married to someone from SKB, he don't have to pay for a passport. That part is not clear. Jackie, I think what's being suggested is that he paid the person that he married. It's not that he had to pay for the passport through the passport shop down at government headquarters or anywhere else. I think they're suggesting that he paid a person who was born in St. Kitts some money, and so they got married. No. Let me ask you a question. Y'all think that is wrong if somebody pays somebody to get married? Yeah, I think that's wrong. I'd be interested. Not only that, of course, the conversation had spread over to, if I remember correctly, the fact that some persons here would have been paid as well. Perhaps some persons in the government officials were also paid. I think that was part of the conversation as well. So I'm trying to remember. Actually, don't quote me, because I'm kind of cloudy on this one. I think also part of the conversation was that money was paid to expedite the process. So I think all of these things are where the questions come in. And perhaps the investigation that exists has to do with that particular situation, but not necessarily an examination of, hey, people getting married for reasons that we deem to not be in line with the purpose of marriage. So we're gonna have to see. So, but I think this is gonna lead, because once this investigation concludes, and whatever the findings are, and it's all dealt with, and whatever, if there's persons who were seen to somehow circumvent proper protocol, and that's dealt with and all of that, I'm wondering if we're really going to examine marriage and how that works and who's eligible and all of that, in an effort to try and avoid repeats of this. Or is it something that we're going to recognize as being, something that is not necessarily an issue like a regular issue. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up? Lost that caller. Let's see, somebody can come and give me the full story now. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Hey, good morning. How are you doing?
Morning. I'm doing well.
Oh, good. So far, so good. I think we need to have some kind of legislation in place to protect the citizen of this country against those who want to use the marriage to become citizen or residents of St. Kitts, to protect the people from them, because that is the whole plan. The game plan is to get into St. Kitts by any means necessary, and most of the time it's not even St. Kitts they want to stay. They want to go to another country, but they're using us as a gateway. So our people being used, I guess our people have used other people too. But if you put the necessary things in place, the necessary legislation in place, that if somebody purchased marriage to obtain citizenship and it could be proven, then that citizenship probably should become null and void, because it's of false pretense. But
what you're saying is that, and this is the point I'm making. So you would then have to either get the person's spouse, the person who was paid, to admit that this was transactional. Now, are you suggesting that the government should take the position that marriage should not be transactional?
Well, if they take the position that it should not be transactional, it will be on behalf and for the people, because you have to protect your people somewhere along the line.
So then,
a lot of people know. A lot of people who carry out these marriages, you think they don't know? They know what's coming behind it. They know, and some of the lawyers who commit these acts know that when they marry, sometimes the people don't even know each other's name. They don't know each other. They know the process, but it's a business. It's a money-making thing. So
But the point I'm making is, marriage in itself has consistently evolved, right? We've allowed it to evolve. Like, traditionally, marriage might have been for the purpose of setting up a family structure to raise children, etc. Traditionally between a man and a woman. Traditionally between one man and one woman, in other words, a monogamous relationship. All of these things over time seem to have shifted a bit, right? So my thing is, if we are going to go down that line, we then have to define what marriage is, who marriage should be between, what is the purpose of marriage, and then what rights are given to people who are married. So if we're going to go down that road, then it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, but I don't believe that I don't think we're ready for that exercise.
Yeah, but sometimes it's not to catch anyone. Sometimes it's not to trap anyone within the law to prosecute them. But if there's certain legislation that are in play, it will prevent. We're looking for some way to make it more difficult for somebody to use the system for the personal benefit. If you put the prevention, make things more difficult. Not that it wouldn't happen, because no matter what you do, people will get around certain things.
So people shouldn't get married for their personal benefit.
Well, when it's a personal benefit, like to use your people to do certain things they want, well, it's personal. Most of the marriages right now, higher percentage appear to be personal benefit, but
that's the point I'm making. So it's gonna be that. My point I'm making it's going to be very difficult to legislate that without defining the things that I spoke about earlier. It's going to be very difficult to legislate that.
But the U.S. do it. They send people to your house to find out if you live there, if you and the person married live, how long you live, if you have clothes there, and how often you sleep together, and so on. All kind of things they do. But they have it, what you call a semi-police system, because people still go through the loop and get things done. But it's to make it more difficult for that to happen. And sometimes we put things to make things more difficult. It becomes much easier for people to do it.
Man, that's the thing, you know, because we go through once. I think, to be honest with you, I'm listening to you speak, and I think what you're suggesting is going to have the exact opposite effect. What happens is when when you legislate things, people have a full understanding of what it takes to be compliant. You understand where I'm coming from? So if I know what I'm going to be asked is XYZ, this is what they need to know, this is what they're expecting, you put your ducks in a row to get what you want, and then it becomes difficult to really question it after that.
That is true. Some will slip through the crack, but you have to put some kind of protection because you're fully aware of what is happening. Our people have been overwhelmingly crowded by people from outside of Thinkit, non-nationals of Thinkit. And I tell you, there are lots of opportunity that they can easily gobble up because they have had the privilege to go to university and to be qualified for certain jobs that are required. And so they could slide into those jobs and leave you people standing by the side of the road cutting grass. And so at the end of the day, when you look, you see somebody hold his job.
That's a very nationalistic point you made there, boy.
Huh?
I said that's a very nationalistic point you made there, but
it is a nationalistic point. You have to make sure that your people are working, because if they're not working, you're going to have to support them, maintain them. You have to look after them some way. You have to make sure that jobs are available for them to go to work. People must work. And you can't, and they cannot come to you and say, I get this and I don't want that. No, you have to take what you can get until you get what you want, because you have to eat.
You see how this conversation does find its way into all sorts of other areas. It's
yes, it would.
Naturally.
So it's up in your face situation. So what are you going to do with the people? Look, have you ever closed your eyes and think how many people leave Keon High for the last term school closed? How many people leave Bastia High for the last term school closed? Sandy Point High, Charles High, High, and then going to college for further education?
What I tell you though is that I think it's widely accepted that there are more Kititians living off the rock than on the rock. Right? And so
some of them they have to run rather than stay.
But that is the point I'm making. So if we want to have our people have that opportunity, that choice afforded to them, how do we then deny other people that same opportunity and choice?
You are not denying other people that choice, but I tell you one thing.
But that's what it's only to me. You said we got to protect them, so we got enough jobs.
Yeah,
but then somebody could say, well, don't bring those Kititians up here, because when they come here, they take away the jobs some of our people here.
I understand, but Dominica Republic and Haiti are close, they are neighbors. But look at the situation between them. Look at the situation between them and us. When was the last time you went to Dominica Republic, Santo Domingo? Most people say with Santo Domingo is the capital. When was the last time you go? But I could tell you how many people come. Anyway, I think I take up enough of your time.
No, but not only that, you use Santo Domingo. Bear in mind that a lot of us went down there. So maybe it's just time for them to come here now. We went down there, cut cane. Yeah, we went down, cut cane.
Went down, but he came back.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate the contribution.
Okay, bro. Thanks. No problem.
All right, man. Guys, we're going to take a short break and be right back with more Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. Stick and stay, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Fresh Look Paint and Tiles sale. Give your home a fresh look with a fresh coat of paint and a fresh set of tiles. From Holtzwood's Building and Nevis Centers, 25% off Fresh Look Paint and Tiles sales event. Yes, come to Holtzwood's Building and Nevis Centers today and get fresh savings of 25% off all paints and tiles store-wide. Come and give your home a fresh new look with fresh savings and fresh new colors. Fresh new piles of tiles in all styles with a fresh 25% off store-wide on all paints and tiles at Holtzwood's Building and Nevis Center. Give your home a fresh start with a fresh new look with fresh new colors, fresh new piles of tiles in all styles, and fresh quality paint at Horswood's Building and Nevis Center. Fresh Look 25% off paints and tiles sales event. See store for details.
Hey guys, welcome back to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. It is still hump day, November 9th. And yeah, we're just chilling, having some conversation. Big up all the callers who've called in so far. I see the phone lines going crazy. But we're going to move on. We're going to jump into a whole new little topic. We're going to jump over the waters for a second and talk about the plans that CCM has to launch a candidate for constituency number 5 ahead of its of the upcoming Nevis Island administration elections. It says the Concerned Citizens Movement is ramping up its preparation for the upcoming Nevis Island Assembly elections, constitutionally due in March 2023. Yeah, that's just on the corner. That's just around the corner. Anybody wanna start a poll to figure out what the date of the election gonna be? I lost the pool that we had here at that I was involved in a pool, and I chose a date. I think I was off by like 1 day or 2 days, something like that. But yeah, if you are ready for the pool for when is the local elections in Nevis, hit me up. The political party has notified the public of its intention to launch a new candidate for constituency number 5 in the person of Miss Latoya Jones. The launch is slated for Saturday, November 12th. That's the Saturday coming at the Barnesgut Community Center, beginning at 7:30 p.m. Jones was recently sworn in as Senator and Deputy Speaker at the opening of the St. Kitts Nevis House of Parliament. She received her first opportunity residing over a parliamentary sitting on Friday, November 4th. Over the last few years, it was expected that the 31-year-old senator would be the CCM candidate for constituency number 5, recognizing her continuous presence and outreach initiatives in the community. At Saturday's launch, Jones will take the candidate baton from popular Calypsonian Keith This and That Scarborough, who, after several run-ins, could not win the parliamentary seat. Jones is expected to contest the constituency 5 seat against deputy political leader of the Nevis Reformation Party and the leader of the opposition in the Nevis Island Assembly, Miss Cleone Stapleton Simmons. In conversation with a Win FM reporter, a few supporters of the Concerned Citizens Movement shared their belief that Jones will create history in the upcoming election. The feedback suggests that the budding parliamentarian is a daughter of the soil, lives in the community, and has contributed significantly to the community since she was a child. Past elections show that the Nevis Reformation Party has dominated the constituency number 5 seat in Nevis since the 1980s. The villages in constituency 5 include, but are not limited to, part of Craddock Road, Old Hospital Road, Jessops, Banscott, Cades Bay, Fountain, Westbury, and Cotton Ground. Things are happening. I mean, every time we have these stories, I keep raising the question, and I did ask the question of Premier Matt Brantley when he joined us on the show about, you know, being able to serve in basically 2 full-time jobs. That has been a conversation as old as there's been a Nevis Island administration. And so I guess the point is that it's being done and it's continuing to be done, and the people of Nevis themselves feel that they get full representation from persons who are able to serve both in the Nevis Island Assembly as well as in the National Parliament. So yeah, I think that might be a discussion for Nevisians who are put in a position to then, you know, vote for who they want in these positions. So we'll just have to wait and see what that holds. I'd love to have a conversation with Jade. Can you reach out and set up after she launches this Saturday? It'll be good for us to have a conversation. And again, there's been a trend of youth as well, as it relates to politics and persons getting involved in politics at the candidate level, as well as women. So I know that has been something that has been clamored about for some time. They need to include more youth. They need to include more women. And so this is something that I'm sure will be welcomed by many persons, even for that particular reason. So we just have to wait and see how that goes. Let me see what we have going on here, because there has been some interesting developments. There's been some interesting developments in Guyana. I don't know how many of you guys have been following what's going on. It does seem as though we're having a lot of uneasiness, you know, in government. You guys tell me, does it feel as though recently we've been seeing more and more of the situation? There's always some contention between government, opposition, such and such. But do y'all believe or feel as though, like worldwide, that we're just seeing more and more upheaval, particularly in democratic states? And I guess it would happen in democratic states because that's where it's allowed to happen, right? But is that something you guys have been sensing? I'd really love to hear, you know, your views on that, and if so, why? But this article, and I'm reading again from winmediaskn.com, it says, opposition in Guyana stages walkout of National Assembly. Opposition legislators, on Monday walked out of the National Assembly after the Speaker, Manzoor Nadir, shut down an attempt by opposition leader Aubrey Norton to seek parliamentary approval for a motion allowing for constitutional and legal amendments to ensure a clean voters list. For a matter to qualify under this particular item, the issue of definite, urgent public importance are necessary, and it's an issue that's upcoming, and I consider this motion at this time not of the urgency that requires this debate, so I would be unable to allow the motion to proceed further than this, Nadir said. Boop. Following the ruling, the opposition members of the coalition, a partnership for national unity plus Alliance for Change, walked out of the building, not staying for the debate on several pieces of legislation, including the one that establishes the Constitutional Reform Commission. These protests and walkout, I'm not entirely sure how to feel about them. Norton in his motion had referred to the recommendations by several observer missions that steps be taken to cleanse the voters list. He said that while Guyana has an estimated population of 750,000, the voters list contains 682,000 names. And United States Homeland Security statistics show that more than 54,000 persons have migrated to the U.S. over the past 5 years. That suggests that it cannot be a credible list, Norton said, adding, it should be obvious to most that the list has to be cleaned. There have been repeated calls for this clean voters list ahead of next year's local government elections, and Monday's move was the latest by the coalition to force the government into giving into demands for the voters list to be cleansed of the names of dead persons and migrants. These kind of situations seem to be plaguing the region. It really does seem to be plaguing the region. Is it a matter that because of our system, the bureaucracy that exists, because of the rules that exist, or because of the power vested in government as they sit in legislative positions, to not just address these things? Like what is it that these things seem to be having such an issue? We've been talking about electoral reform here for years and years and years and years. I mean, one of the last things I heard would have been like, okay, well, the census information that we have is outdated. Okay, so we're doing the census now. We should have that information soon. Electoral commission gonna get itself organized, and not get themselves, but be put in place to address the situations and use the most recent census data. Like, we had a whole big issue to do with boundaries being moved, new proposed boundaries. How much elections we had since that whole debacle? 3? And we still can't get organized? I don't know. Oh, boy. Somebody's saying in relation to the question that I asked earlier, persons holding their elected officials more accountable now. And some of them asked for it. And Vex, now it's happening. I don't know if I totally agree with that. I do believe that I believe that most people are actually followers. It isn't a matter that people are assessing their situation and demanding that XYZ be done by XYZ. I think it's a more matter of they are becoming more and more well dug in ideological positions and groups that hold on to these beliefs, and everybody and persons who are in a leadership position in these movements are galvanizing the people who share their views and jockeying for power. I think it's more of that. I don't think most people, when you go and you talk to most people, they could barely articulate what is the issue. And the problem, like I say sometimes, is the truth is when you sit down and talk to people one-on-one and ask them what they believe about this thing and that thing, no matter where they stand on the political spectrum, a lot of times they're not very far off in their views on most topics. So it has to do with leadership. It has to do with the leadership. Whether they, and that's not even speaking just about politicians, but even leaders within society. Like I said, thought leaders, the people who galvanize people around their certain ideologies and such, that really are putting us in a position because of the inability to discuss and to see where other people coming from, which is made possible because we don't seem to have a common ground. So it's hard to have a real conversation that goes anywhere if we don't come from some at least common ground, right? And so because that is happening, people are made to feel like we don't have common ground. Then people over there, they have a totally different view to us, etc., etc., etc. We can't have any conversation. We can't have any. Those people, like, it's just very divided, polarized, and this in a think it's thing. It seems as though this is worldwide. It does seem like this is worldwide, and it's affecting. Yeah, it does seem like this is affecting us in a very, very, very real way, and our ability to get things done. So many times we spend a lot of our energy just going back and forth, trying to figure out who right, who wrong, so if we can't even decide on what should be done, well, what we gonna actually do? What we gonna actually do? We spend more time trying to undo what was done. We spend more time trying to figure out who did what was wrong when we're in a position of power, or we go and try to defend our actions when we're not in a position of power. And so it's just this constant conversation about what should be done, what should have been done, and hardly anything getting done. So I don't know. And at the same time, I think that's where now people getting frustrated and people getting agitated, because it does feel like a lot of things are at a standstill, whether it's economies, whether it is just people feeling like our needs aren't being addressed. People all over the world, it just seems like it's unrest. Can't we all just get along? Can't we all just be friends? I don't know. But I thought I saw somebody calling just now. What you hang up for? You want to be a part of the conversation? But guys, hopefully this trend of unrest kind of gets sorted out. I'm gonna have to call to some of my friends in Guyana to figure out what is going on in Guyana. I had a conversation last night with a friend of mine from Dominica. I can't even repeat half the things that I say, and I say, you can't substantiate that, girl. They're too deep for me. But all over it seems to be similar conversations, similar things happening. People seem to be in similar places. And it just seems like we all just becoming more and more divided. I don't know. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I don't know when the pendulum is going to swing back the other way. But we're going to have to wait and see. But guys, I'm going to take a short break and come right back with more Island Tea. So stick and stay. Don't go anywhere.
Shirley is celebrating 70 years. Can you believe it? Everyone loves a Shirley biscuit, known for its rich, creamy taste, as well as the iconic house and flower design. We all know Shirley is the perfect on-the-go snack, and it's truly the Caribbean's favorite. Simply put, there's nothing quite like a Shirley biscuit. I can't imagine life without it. I too love my Shirley.
It's a Caribbean flavor. Shirley biscuits make me happy.
When the star them there, we are top man, we take charge. Have no drink and we are shell down bars. Blast like a star with some gallopers. Overdo it, we take it too far. Take charge, take charge.
We are hot gal, we set the trend. Magnum we drink for the top man them. Wine with the style, no stop from spin. Hot blend, back bend, and take charge, take charge.
Magnum tonic wine for the real star them. Take charge, take charge. Must be 18 or older, drink responsibly.
Hey guys, welcome back to Island T right here on Win Media SKN, and I'm joined in studio by some lovely ladies, friends of the show. They've been here before. And I know when they come here, you know, it's always great energy and great things we're gonna talk about, good things on the horizon. But I'm gonna allow them to introduce themselves, ladies.
Good morning. My name is Nadia Rollins. I'm here in my capacity as a member of the board of the St. Christopher Children's Home.
And I'm Naima Hazel, and I'm here in my capacity as the vice chair on the St. Christopher Children's Home Board.
Well, thank you for coming to hang out with us this morning. I know you guys have been here before. We've spoken a bit about what has been going on down at the St. Christopher Children's Home. And I know there's some exciting things that's about to happen. What can we look forward to?
Well, we're excited COVID is over.
For sure.
So we can finally do some fundraising and get our services back up to, well, not to say they weren't up to par, but excel in our services and our provision of care for children who are at risk and vulnerable in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So we're very excited. So our upcoming event, I know everybody's been waiting. I know you've been waiting for years. We're back with the walk run, with the family walk run. Yay. So we're here today to talk to you about our 11th annual family walk run. This is the first one we've had in maybe 2-3 years.
The last walk was officially October 2019.
Yes.
We tried in 2020. We really did try. But, COVID, the limitation of COVID, of course, we seek a lot of sponsorship. So, a lot of businesses, could not sponsor. Right. Plus, our main support is the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. So, they provide the venue, volunteers, the food, all of that stuff. So, with COVID, they were just recovering. So, it was kind of, difficult for them to undertake that at that time. So, 2019, but we're back.
We're back.
Finally.
I know you're going to be at the walk run.
Well, it depends. When is it?
The 26th. Saturday, the 26th of November.
Yeah, man. Saturday, man. That's a nice little stretch for the legs there.
Yeah, a little afternoon stretch.
Yeah. Well, what can people expect on the 26th?
Well, we're looking forward to do our usual and partner with some of our usual persons. So, as usual, we have our walk. We start at the St. Kitts Golf Club, right? Royal Golf Club. Royal Golf Club. So people will say, okay, over by the Marriott Dome. That's easier for people to to locate. So it's at 3:00 we begin with registration. So persons come over, they can purchase their tickets, get their shirts, get their little ticket for the meal. Then we have a warm-up session. In the past, we've had Mr. X. Mr. X used to be a warm-up guy. The dance moves and everything, warm up the entire body before you start.
He does. He wears the good shorts.
Yes.
Mr. X.
I mean, anything less to be uncivilized.
Yes, of course.
This is what we come to expect. We want people to come and be like, this is so familiar. I missed the walk run.
Exactly. So we want to keep it, what people would expect. So, and then after the warm-ups, then the run will begin, the 5K run, and then the 2K walk starts immediately after. Okay. But some persons walk the whole thing. Some persons want, it all depends on what you want to do.
All right, it's just about coming out and having a good time and showing support for the home and for the children, right?
And of course, it's a family event. So, we encourage, of course, as our own family at the St. Christopher Children's Home and the extended family of the community, that you would bring your families. So we would love to see moms, dads, teenagers, you guys can walk on Saturday too. Young people, and we haven't changed. The price is still the same.
Yep.
That hasn't changed at all. Children, of course, under 6 are free. We do discourage people from bringing bicycles
and pets.
Yeah,
not
and
golf course.
skateboards, those kinds of things. They're very disruptive to the walkers. But of course, you can walk with your stroller if you want to walk with your stroller with your children, if you have young children as well. So we encourage families to come out, and that would be an event that shows our children at the home that the community is there to support them and that they are the extended family of the home.
Well, you spoke about the pricing just now. Could you just repeat for persons listening?
Okay, it's going to be 50 EC for adults or 20 US, 25 EC or 10 US for children from 6 to 12 years old, and children under 6, of course, are free. As you know, with your registration fee, then you also will get an event shirt, which, everybody has their shirts. We're not going to tell you
them
which.
all over the place.
You're waiting to find out which color. You need to come and buy a ticket, then you'll find out which color. And then, of course, a barbecue lunch, which is always served by our partners at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. So really, it's a lot of bang for your buck. $50 really for a nice quality shirt to give back to your community, and also we feed you, And of course, we'll also have the extra sales for raffles, which are very, very popular. We're hoping not to have 100 raffle items this year.
Down the raffles
Sometimes we're there, the
yeah.
mosquitoes, they biting. There's some aggressive mosquitoes. It takes a long time, but the people really stay committed. They stay committed. They want to stay till 6:30 and 7 mosquitoes biting through their clothes. But we're going to try to avoid that this year. We generally start on time, so we like to start and finish on time before that happens, and make sure that everybody has a nice time while they're sitting. They can enjoy some of our amenities, and then also take part in our fundraiser in terms of the raffle, which also provides a lot of funds for the home.
All right, awesome. And where does it end? Because when we start talking about lovely barbecue dinner, people want to know exactly where am I going to, and I have to have something to look forward to at the end.
Okay, so you walk and you run and you come right back into the dome. So the dome is set up, and as again Marriott, all the logistics, all the setup, everything, they're amazing. They've been amazing. So you come into the dome, so that's where we would have the raffle prizes. That's where you will get your barbecue lunch. That's the mix and mingle area. We also want to add in that we normally have draft beer.
I was thinking it, but I was like, maybe I say amenities, because I know it's a morning show. But amenities.
From the Caribbean breweries, that's a staple. That's always
a staple.
And this year we're gonna have a hydration station by Tap Water Caribbean. They've been doing a lot of stuff at events recently.
TAPP.
Yeah, we up to yesterday.
Right, exactly. So they'll be there at the walk. So we're encouraging persons to bring their reusable bottles. So so they
and
can
the
get
water
some,
bottles,
some lovely
so we
water.
can also avoid plastics and
For
pollution. We're trying to move away from that as a society. So we encourage people to bring their own water bottles to refill.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. And of course, this is to help and raise funds for the St. Christopher Children's Home.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that there's a misnomer that people feel that the St. Christopher Children's Home is full of money. And really, honestly, during COVID, it was very difficult for us to keep our doors open.
Right.
I don't think people realize how hard we struggled. I don't think they would know. I actually want to really commend at this time our board and the members of our board and the members of the community that really came through for us through COVID, through just private donations. Sometimes it'd be as little as $100, as much as $2,000, that really helped us to keep the doors open, to feed the children, and we're really looking forward to thanking those sponsors and our additional sponsors for this year. But without the walk, it's very hard to keep the home open. So the last to be able to generate this income, to be able to support the home and the children in the home, and to support the services that are already being provided, so that children who are at risk know that there is somewhere for them to go.
Yeah, but
and the walk is really, really our biggest fundraiser.
It is.
Like without the walk, for those past years, it was really, really a struggle.
I mean, anybody who raise children or just have an idea of, you know, what it takes to raise children from a financial standpoint must understand, like,
yeah.
it is. And sometimes you got one and you figure it out, but how people just do this with two?
With two
Never
and
mind
three
that.
and
Yes.
and the home
Right.
we can accommodate up to 34 children, right? Yes. And of course that number has fluctuated over the years.
Right.
Presently we are at 8, so we have
Okay.
4 boys, 4 girls, and whether you have 1 or 8, it's still very expensive.
Let me be clear.
Of
We have 4 teenager
Teenage.
boys
Okay,
and
so
4 teenage girls, which is like having 16 children
Right.
because they're eating at a 16 children rate, you know? And they have a lot of needs. And
Right.
also coming out of COVID, I don't think people realize as the home, we try to provide a lot of things in terms of tutoring, counseling,
Right.
And support. And some of these things cost money.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we have to wait long periods like everybody else. So sometimes we have to put out the money to make sure that our kids are getting the services that they need. And also, you know, we also fund, we have to pay staff. So there's a lot of things that we have to do. We get a little bit of assistance from STEP. Shout out to STEP for the little bit of help. But, you know, for helping children, we'd really like to be able to do more for our staff.
Well, let me ask this question then, because sometimes there might be a bit of a misnomer or misunderstanding about the level of care that's provided by the St. Christopher Children's Home. It might just be like, oh, they probably just feed them, give them some clothes, and give them somewhere to live.
The same care.
And so
how
could you guys speak a bit about, like, you know, the type of care and attention that the children who are there are afforded, because sometimes people don't recognize how much it is that goes into the development of these children.
and what we try to do too is we try to make sure that they get experiences just as every other child, you know.
Okay.
So over the years we have done like what the dolphin
Yeah, they
park.
do a lot of activities.
They do a lot of activities. We try to engage them in summer. Then they do summer camps. They do everything that you could think about that raising a regular child you would want to.
But they're regular children.
If they have an interest, if they have after school classes, if they're interested in dance, so those things would cost
whatever.
football, cricket. So that means those equipment, all those things that we would do. We also like to do some social skills. So sometimes we would go and we'd learn about, because we eat out. So sometimes they'll go and be invited to events. We don't want our children to stand out because, you know, so they have to learn appropriate, everybody really should, but, you know, appropriate social skills, how to engage, how to eat with their knife and fork so that in their settings. So sometimes we would do that. We've had like support from places like Marshalls who would let us come in and practice with the children in the day and make it like an event. So we try to do those kinds of things for the children. And sometimes they need support in things that people don't really think of. You know, we do a lot of medical care. A lot of that is assisted with the Ministry of Social Development assist us. We're able to send it, but sometimes we have to deal with that up front, and then we can recoup it. So we do have our partners, but everything that you would imagine ideally a child would need to thrive and succeed, we provide for at the home.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, that takes money.
It takes money, and of course staff, right? So we would love to improve our staff complement, but that's very expensive. And, you know, it's a certain kind of person that can work with children.
Correct.
People think, you know, you could just send anybody to go work at the children's home, and you really cannot.
You really cannot,
Just send
yeah.
anybody. And we really want to bring in also some more specialists that can really address some of the socio and emotional needs of the children, especially coming out of COVID, and especially since a lot of them deal with extreme trauma.
Right.
You know?
So, you know, for children dealing with trauma and stuff like that, that's why we say we can't just have any and anybody.
Correct.
Because they have to be able to relate to them. They have to be able to speak to them, those kind of things. We do try to offer training, so we collaborate with like the counseling center and other places to offer training to staff. So, you know, they'll be better equipped to handle children who have experienced trauma or abandonment or something like that. So, you know, as we say, we have to be very particular of who we have around the children because we want to make sure that they're in a safe and loving environment. And that's what we try to provide.
Yes, and one more initiative, which I'm going to mention, which I think is exciting for us, is our reintegration space. So we're trying to create a reintegration space for children who are transitioning out of the home. That's something that's difficult for children in institutionalized care.
I always wonder about that, you know.
Yeah, so we've tried to create a space for some of our young people who are starting to transition, that they would have their own independent space, but still in the safety of the home for approximately a year, where they make a contribution, and their contribution can be put aside for them for their transition into regular society, that they would be comfortable and safe. We don't want them to leave the home and be in a worse situation than they were while they were before the home.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we provide that space. So that's also something that we've been investing our time and our money in.
Right, well, I love to hear that. Like I said, I have known, persons who have grown up in the home, and that is, that's a question that I always ask about. Okay, so what's the next step? Is there a transitional period? Is there something in place for that? So I'm loving the fact that that is something that is taken into consideration.
Yes. Right. And we got a lot of support from Esposito Construction and as well as the St. Kitts Marriott Hotel. They've been very generous with their construction staff to come over to start to assist us in doing some of the changes that we need to adjust our small space, but to make it workable for everybody in the home.
But I'm really excited hearing about some of these partnerships. And of course, we look forward to the general public coming out on Saturday the 26th to be a part as well and partner with the St. Christopher Children's Home with this walk run. But even if people want to give back in some way, who can they contact? How do they get involved if they're interested in partnering? Or anyone else, any other businesses, anything like that, who are interested in partnering outside of the walk? We know y'all coming,
Yes.
So, if anybody is listening to the sounds of our voices and said, I want to jump on board for this walk one, you can give us a call, 465-4007 or 766-4007. Our administrator, Miss James, will be able, she welcomes everybody. We don't turn things away just so easily. So give her a call and she'll be able to give you more information. You can check out our website. You can also donate on our website as well, stchristopherchildren'shome.org. You can check us out on Facebook, St. Christopher Children's Home. So there are lots of ways to reach us, if you want to become a partner. Because it's, as I say, we appreciate our partners, our donors, all of those persons who have helped us over the years. And the home has been officially in existence for about 72 years. We started in 1950.
Yes, it is. It's 72 years.
Yes, January 26, 1950 was the official opening of the home. So this is our 72nd year.
Long-established institution.
Going strong. And if it wasn't for the partners, we don't know where we would have been today. Our partners, our volunteers, persons come from overseas, persons see us on Facebook or they check out our website.
Well, hold up right there because I'm actually seeing on the live somebody is asking, is there a way for overseas people to connect with you guys? And what would be the easiest way? They're even asking about perhaps a WhatsApp number, but I know you mentioned Facebook or whatever.
We have a WhatsApp number, the 7664007, but I think the easiest way is probably through our Facebook page or through our website.
Our website, because you can make donations via the website as well.
And you can leave a message on our Facebook page.
Yes.
So that's the easiest way.
And that's the easiest
access,
yeah. So we welcome partners. And we recently had a partner with the Ministry of Agriculture, Department of Agriculture. We have a greenhouse. I don't know if you've ever passed by the home.
Yes, please come and buy our vegetables when we're selling them.
We have a greenhouse, and it really was a struggle for us because, of course, that take maintenance, that takes staff members, that takes persons who are familiar with crop planting and all of that stuff.
Right.
So agriculture stepped in, and they have adopted our greenhouse. They have planted, I think, tomatoes, and I think they said sweet peppers now. So we'll be selling soon. Okay. We'll be selling stuff soon, you know, so look out for that as well. So
I don't even think a lot of people know that we have a garden and a greenhouse. And we do sell. We get different times, different crops. So we really want, and we sell at good prices, very fair prices. So we'd love for people to come over and support that. And also we can also use those vegetables as well to sustain the home. We're trying to create more sustainability in the home. So that's important to us as well.
That is awesome. I love the idea of going out and getting fresh produce for your salad.
That's so true. Listen, and our tomatoes are lovely. Our pumpkins.
And
well,
we
our
have
watermelon. Some watermelon.
Yeah, various things, but
really,
with the help of agriculture, I can see that space like just flourishing and all the stuff that becomes.
We keep up to date with what you guys are doing. The best way is probably via your social media pages.
Yes. So St. Christopher Children's Home on Facebook, look us up. That's where we put a lot of our updates. So when we have stuff to sell or that kind of stuff, all of that will be posted as well.
All right.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, before you guys leave me, unfortunately.
We could stay long, you know, if you want to
August,
stay
eh?
with
August,
you're by yourself today. You feeling
That's what I'm
lonely?
saying.
Feel a bit lonely?
I'm
I can come host with you. When I finish, I can switch sides.
Lovely, lovely. But yeah, just again tell people the details as it relates to the walk run, and make sure that they have no excuse why they're not there.
No excuse.
No excuse. Okay, so as we said, Saturday, 26th November at the Royal St. Kitts Golf Club will be our 11th annual walk run. Tickets are $50 for adults, $25 for children ages 6 to 12, and children under 6 are free. You can find tickets at Harper's. Harper's always helps us as well in terms of ticket sales. We now have a new ticket location, which is the Four-Way Restaurant in the Circus. The former,
That's upstairs Ballyhoo?
Ballyhoo,
Where
yes.
Ballyhoo used to be?
The Ballyhoo used to be. You can get at the Royal Beach Casino. At the home itself, the office at the home, we have tickets available there, and also online at events.jad.cash. So lots of places to get tickets.
Yes.
Also, it should be noted that transportation is also provided for the walk. So
As
some
usual.
persons might be wondering, how do I get all the way over to the dome, you know?
Uh-huh.
So,
Yes.
You don't want to walk before the walk.
Exactly.
Right.
Before the walk, right? So transportation is provided from the Sands Complex and the fire station every 30 minutes between 2:30 and 6:30. So you could get there and you could reach back home.
Boom, bam.
Simple.
Yeah.
Right, as we said, we have our T-shirt, which everybody looks forward to, the barbecue lunch by the Marriott, and the raffle prizes. So there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be out there.
Yes.
And we're really hoping to partner, you know, with the usual, as I said, the usual partners, just to make it another memorable event.
Yes. And just a reminder again, where our tickets are available, they're available at Harper's, at Four Ways Restaurant, Royal Beach Casino, and also online on JAD events. So we would prefer that you buy your tickets in advance because then you don't have to wait in any long lines for your registration. You just come, collect your things. It works much more quickly. But we are also happy to take your money and donations on the 26th of November.
At the site.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and just a reminder that, of course, everybody will get their shirts, even if you purchase your ticket in advance. All the shirts are provided for you at the event. That is where you will get your shirt.
So come early.
At the event, so come early.
And of course, we need to shout out our sponsors because without them, this wouldn't be possible.
Of course.
So we had 3 levels of sponsors: platinum, gold, and bronze. So our platinum sponsors, we had 869 to go. We had Royal Utilities, Galaxy, GDMI, Kelly Construction, of course, the St. Kitts Marriott Resort, and the Royal Beach Casino. We had our gold sponsors: Bitcoin, Caribouries, Cascab, Mapao, Sol, Tapwater Caribbean, Tropical Shipping. Silver sponsors: Delil Walwyn. We had Duroc, Grant Thornton, Island Purified Water, SKB Rentals, the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank, brand sponsors: CIBC First Caribbean Bank, Caribbean Lotto, Comfort Eco, Creative Engineering and Construction, the Park Hyatt, Quality Water Supplies, Racing and Gaming, Credit Union. We also had sponsorship from Clean Right, JAD, of course, and the Scenic Railway. And that's just to name a few, because I think there's still more coming in.
I'm sure you guys are accepting more.
Yeah,
Yes, happily.
We're not gonna refuse. I
We're
think. So
gonna
that's why I
party.
said give us a call. Give us a call 465-4007 or 766-4007.
Well, I am happy to hear that things are moving along smoothly, that people are
We
coming on
have
board.
tickets to give away, can we?
Oh, what? Oh, we love them things here.
Yes.
we love them things here.
We have an adult ticket and a child ticket to give away.
An adult ticket and a child ticket. Okay.
Yes, I guess they come together, so we should give them one time.
Okay.
Because the child's not going to come without their adult. No, let's give them 2 times. Then a child has to bring an adult, and an adult needs to bring a
Okay.
child.
So
Exactly.
usually what we do is we have options for the sippers, right? So we have sippers who listen on the radio and then we
Okay.
generally call in, and then we have some sippers who watch online
Okay.
and they may comment. So if we could split the giveaways, maybe
Yeah,
one
okay.
for the online.
One for online and one for call-in.
Yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
Sippers, I like that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like it too.
Okay, let's see if you were paying attention because we threw out some information there. So, which one we're going to do first? The online people or the callers?
Let's do the online.
Let's do the online. Okay.
I hope you guys are ready.
Do them simultaneously, because they don't. They
Well,
don't
okay, whoever answer, right? We'll see. Make sure you pay attention and don't cheat, Azim. Pay attention.
I'm watching.
Okay, watching. Okay, so let's see. The first question we'll ask: when was the last walk run held? So you're gonna give me the month and the year. When was the last walk run?
And this one is for who? This one is for who?
Who you want? You pick, Azim.
Let's give this one to the callers. Yeah, the callers coming in.
Okay.
So for those of you calling in, we want to know when was the last walk run held. We're looking for both the month and the year, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
So
you can go ahead and ask a question for the online.
Or the other one. Let's see.
So much information.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. How many children do we presently have in the home? So how many boys and how many girls do we presently have living in the home? We have any callers yet, Azim?
Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T with the St. Christopher Children's Home.
Okay, what's the question? Because seemingly she asked two questions.
Oh.
Yes, there are two questions. So the questions we could answer any one. When was the last walk run held? So you have to give me the month and the year.
Okay, and what's the next one?
How many children are presently in the home? So we want the breakdown. How many boys and how many girls?
Okay, 4 boys and 4 girls.
Wonderful.
Very
wonderful.
well.
Wonderful.
I thought I almost tricked you with the 16.
Can I try on another one?
No, you can't get the 2. No, you can't get the 2.
Actually, we do have someone answering online, so we're gonna probably take that.
Okay, so Azim, I guess you'll take that information.
Yeah, we'll get this. Hold the line, caller. All right.
Okay.
And yeah, we actually have someone who answered online. Tanesha Lawrence, they're making a guess for the last time it was held, and they're saying November 2019.
Not correct.
Not correct.
So close, though. So
guys,
close.
try again.
Close, very close.
I'm calling one of the callers there.
So the question is, when was the last walk run held? Month and year.
I thought she was being very generous. I was going to go with the question of, how long the home has been a year, She was being so generous with that.
What the chances to win my first?
Yes, it's true. It's true.
Can't give out
Don't look for this question on the next show, okay?
Can't give out all of the questions today.
All right, so we have Witty Kitty who says October 2019.
Yeah,
that's correct. Ding, ding, ding. And to be honest, our walk run is usually held the first week of October, so that's a pretty safe guess. This is just our first year. We're trying to accommodate others and dealing with some of the difficulties that we've had in.
Yeah, because our shirts were backed up. You know, and we can't have the event without the shirts. That wouldn't be the walk on. So we had to wait. So
and then of course we don't want to compete with the breast cancer walk. We want to give everybody a chance to, get the help that they need for their advocacy efforts. So we just want to continue to support all the other NGOs as well. And we thank everybody for coming out and supporting the St. Christopher Children's Home.
All right. Well, lovely. So Witty, message either Jade or myself on Facebook, and we'll get you that ticket. To the caller that called in, for some reason I wasn't able to get your call, but once the show is finished, I'll ask that you call back. I'll stick around so I could take your call and get your information so we could get you your prize.
Please call back.
Right.
And what happened to Jade today, Jade?
Jade is stuck in St. Martin.
Oh, Jade, you see? And
Jade
you didn't even get no Burner Boy.
Jade went for Burner Boy.
She went for Burner Boy, and all she got was water.
Water, boy.
Oh,
one burn.
They got burned, boy.
Oh, my gosh.
But at least everybody's safe, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
But guys, it's been a real pleasure hanging out with you today. Wait, before we go, somebody's asking quickly I don't want to go before we answer this question. They're just asking again, where can they get their tickets?
Okay, so Harper's, Foray Restaurant and Bandy Circus, that's the former Ballyhoo, that's up all those stairs. The Royal Beach Casino, at the office at the home itself, or online at events.jad.cash. And again, tickets are adults $50, children ages 6 to 12, $25, and children under 6 are free.
Indeed. So don't leave the little children home. Bring them
No,
out.
we'll see you and your families.
whole
Everybody
family.
could do the event,
Whole
and it's
family.
fun. Sometimes people like to bring like a blanket or a chair and like sit out and have their snacks and stuff. So just come and make yourself comfortable.
Yeah, lovely.
Check out Facebook for all the updates concerning the walk.
And
Our
always look at our
Facebook
page,
Yeah.
www.stchristophерchildren'shome.org. There's always something interesting on there for you to look at, and we love to see your traffic on our page, of course.
All right, lovely. Well, guys, I'm looking forward to it. I could tell that the sippers are looking forward to it as well.
Nice.
I expect to see a lot of you guys there. But we usually support.
Yes.
We usually support.
Okay.
We have a good track record of our listeners and viewers coming out and showing support to worthy causes such as this. So I don't think this is going to be any different.
And we'll look for you and your peers.
Yeah, boom, bam. Watch it. I'm going to go do some stretches from today now.
So that means you're doing the run then? You're going to be running?
Watch it. Stop playing.
A
and just in
combination?
case-
Walk,
And just in case one
Doing a
year,
walk crawl.
exercise he doesn't want to do with it, we're welcome to be looking to be auditioning new warm-up people.
Maybe you could do the warm-up session.
No, I actually have somebody who would be great for that, you know.
No, we were thinking of you.
Huh? Excuse me?
Imagine that, the warm-up hosted by the Island Tea crew. So you and Jade start the,
The warm-up might look more like a burnout.
But we're looking forward to having you and for everyone to come up. We're really excited. We're so happy to be back. And as I said, our biggest fundraiser. So we're so happy that we're able to do this again. And to be partnering with some new people, some, old people.
Some regulars. Yeah, the regulars.
Some regulars. So we are very excited. So 11th annual walk on, and we're looking forward to 11, 12, 13, 14 more.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you
for coming and hanging out. Appreciate it. Kept me company. Gave out some great information.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Thank you. Back to work.
No problem.
All right.
All right.
Thanks again.
Okay, bye.
But guys, that kind of run me down to the end of the show. I appreciate you guys taking the time to hang out with me this morning. Thanks to all the people who called in. Thanks to all the people who've been messaging online. Thanks to all the people who this is the first time listening. If this is your last time listening, thank you as well for your support nonetheless. But guys, I gotta leave. I gotta go. I gotta disappear. I gotta disembark. I got a lot of things going on today. Today gonna be a long day. Y'all pray for me. Send me good vibes and energy. I'm gonna need it. It's gonna be a long one today. For those of you out there trying to do your best, keep doing your best. For all the men out there who are working hard to support their families, big up yourself. To all the mothers out there, the women out there who out there working to do exactly the same, big up yourself as well. But guys, I gotta leave. I gotta go. Whether you join us on Facebook, YouTube, any of the other digital media platforms, thank you so much. If you're listening to us on your radio, 98.9 FM, boom, bam, real MVPs. Turn it up loud. Make sure everybody in the neighborhood or the office or the bus hearing you. All right? And before I go, I just want to remind you to please learn from the losses of others. You don't have to go and repeat everybody bad mistakes. You could just watch them, Also, please spend more time living your content than posting it. Somebody need to stay off of social media. I try to talk to y'all wouldn't hear. Every night I just be watching y'all and saying, but anyway. And of course, please remember, you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug. Gonna see you guys tomorrow.